Hello and welcome again to another whiteboard testing session with me, John Stevenson. You can find me on Twitter at Stevio1967. Today's session is a series I hope to do about testing skills that testers should really possess or learn more to gain a expertise in these sets of skills that we need. So I'm going to talk today about note taking, and in particular I'm going to talk about the Cornell method of note taking. But why do we need to take notes? Well, that's the evidence of what you've done. There's lots of ways we can capture evidence of the testing that has been executed and what we have done. Some of these may be taking screenshots, recording videos such as what I am doing now, but the majority of the time most people use notes. And some of the notes I've seen in the past and experienced myself have been quite poor. It's very hard to understand the thinking or what has gone on during that period or testing session. So why is it important? It's not just me saying so. Robert Lambert, in an article he wrote, talks about this, explaining exploratory testing. Michael Bolton's done this in an article he did called a exploratory tester's notebook. I'm going to add these links to these here, and which I will quote, and sorry if I'm reading this from here, but it's the only way I could remember it, is, yet police, doctors, pilots, lawyers and all kinds of skilled professions have learned to deal with problems of reporting unpredictable information in various forms by developing note-taking skills. Again, I'll add the link to that. And Robert Lambert, during a session, a good exploratory tester will often narrate the process, all the time making notes. So taking notes, especially if you're doing testing, exploratory testing, if we must use that word, is important. So I'm going to talk about one method called the Cornell Method, which a lot of university students use, or those people who have already been to university may have used but forgotten about. I'd like to reintroduce it for the sake of testers around the world who will watch this video. And this method, I will say before we start, pause this video now. Go away, get a piece of paper and a pen or a pencil and use this method to capture the notes in this video. So there's the second for pausing. Let's start. What we have is you'll have your piece of paper and you will mark out your paper into three. Here in this big section here is where you will take your notes, capture your observations, capture what was said during the session of which one, and you can add little pretty pictures if you want, we don't mind, however works best for you. But capture what is being said or what you observe in this note-taking area. And by the way, there is a link online that I will add to this video that produces these on pieces of paper automatically for you. It's very simple to do yourself, but it produces a nice little template that you can use in PDF format to create these. So once that's done, once you have your notes here, you then move over to the Q or review section. So what you do now is you take the information you've got in your notes and make it concise, make it brief. And so using your Q column or review column here, and put in any questions again you have that you may need to go away and research later. Yeah, and this is to capture the key details. It's not to make a whole summary again, a whole list. It's to make it concise. And practicing this makes it better. So you have your notes, you then can have your Q and review. So the next step is you cover up these notes. You cover them up, you look at your review or your Qs here and you write your summary. So you cover this up. Using just this, you write a summary of what you've learned, the information you've got from that session that you took notes on. And for testing purposes, it could be some areas of interest that you found that you may need to go away and investigate again. It may be the fact of you've uncovered behaviour that from your review here you've captured it here, then you may need to go and talk to somebody. This summary could act as a mini report for the session of testing you've done. And then what happens is, ask yourself questions both on this and this, and see if you can answer them in here. If you can't answer them, it may be a cue for you to go away and find more information. So spend some time reviewing your notes, reviewing your cues, reviewing your summary. Then leave it. And what this suggests with the Cornell method is to go away, come back and review it regularly. Does it still make sense to you? Is it still important to you? If the case that it's not, then you may need to get better. And they always say practice makes perfect. So keep practicing, keep trying, and see if you get better. So thank you very much for watching. I hope to have another one or two later. I've got some ideas. I will try and put those forward. Thank you very much.